The News 1226 First Alert Radar Minute.
With up to 10 times the resolution of other local radars and technology that can pinpoint right down to your street.
First, just got fast. Live from Augusta. Breaking news.
Good evening, everybody. We start with a breaking news alert right now out of Orangeburg County. 2 people there are dead, another in the hospital. This from a crash that happened tonight. The driver and passenger of a Honda died there. We right now are trying to get more information, but what we've learned so far from crash investigators, that car was trying to pass a car on Cordova Road. It hit another car head on in this crash, and it was a second driver in a Honda there. A driver who is in the hospital. That is the person taken there. We're working to learn more information right now about that in the newsroom. Now on to weather, and we can tell you, come on. She's sneaking in behind me.
There we go.
Some people dance in ballrooms. We dance on news sets. But here's some news that people aren't going to think is news, and it is hot. So hot. There's a first alert today. It is a first alert tomorrow. And I guess really no news that it's hot outside, but it is dangerously hot.
Yeah, I think tomorrow, if I'm getting my math right, it's either day 5 or day 6 of a first alert, and we don't issue those willy-nilly. It is very warranted, and we're going to see it again tomorrow.
And I will say, I remember the first warm days of the season, and you said we issue a first alert to warn people in the middle. You said that with it's going to be hot all summer.
Yes.
This is dangerous heat. This is heat to be concerned about, especially if you have people who are next to you that are elderly, your neighbors there, or people who can't get somewhere to cool off.
Definitely so. I know we have a lot of cooling shelters open across the CSRA. Very thankful to see that, and thankful that they're open until 8 p.m. because that's when the heat advisory is issued, from noon until 8. That's for intense heat across the CSRA. Feels like temperatures anywhere from 105 to 110. So it is going to be another hot afternoon for us here for your Tuesday. Make sure you're staying hydrated and have a good way to cool off. Rain's not affecting most of us as we go throughout our overnight. We could see some pretty heavy rainfall and even thunderstorms over around the Atlanta area, and a little cell has dipped down into our counties here in the CSRA. We have a special weather statement out for roughly the next 15 minutes, and that includes portions of Hancock, Tolliver, and even over into Warren County. But again, most of us will remain dry as we go throughout our evening. I think the best chance for rain will be more of our Georgia counties and places along and north of I-20. I'll have a look, though, at the heat that we'll see not only tomorrow, but what it's looking like for the rest of the work week coming up.
Thanks, Emily. A quick reminder to be weather aware and download the First Alert Weather app. Among the notifications you can customize is the one that warns you about excessive heat. It's especially important when you're out on the water. Let's talk about the water in the Savannah River, because on Saturday, strangers heard calls for help and then did CPR on a man until first responders showed up on the shore. Right now, the family of that man tells us he is alive tonight, but in the ICU.
The heat that we'll see not only tomorrow, but what it's looking like for the rest of the work week coming up.
Thanks, Emily. A quick reminder to be weather aware and download the First Alert Weather app. Among the notifications you can customize is the one that warns you about excessive heat. It's especially important when you're out on the water. Let's talk about the water in the Savannah River, because on Saturday, strangers heard calls for help and then did CPR on a man until first responders showed up on the shore. Right now, the family of that man tells us he is alive tonight, but in the ICU of Augusta Hospital. Your Ethan Hunter was back at the boat ramp where those first responders pulled up near where this happened. He's here now with the story of boaters who did all they could to help save a life.
Yeah, it's Robert Amerson who told me that he was floating down the Savannah River here all the way up at a very popular sandbar before taking the man back to the boat ramp at Riverview Park. And he heard calls for help, and instinct kicked in, going back up that river to try to save a drowning swimmer's life. Saturdays on the Savannah River. It's almost a tradition. Floating on their boat is where you'll usually find Robert Amerson and his wife Jessica.
My father taught me how to run the boat. That was something he did when we were very young.
So on Saturday, Robert and his friends were tied up near a sandbar when the normal day out turned unusual quickly.
Somebody started yelling, help. We jumped in, we went upriver. As we pulled up, We could see what I think is the brother. He was pulling him up to the bank. I got out. She called 911, and I started CPR immediately.
North Augusta Public Safety says the victim was underwater for minutes, unconscious when he was pulled out of the water, still passed out when the ambulance pulled up. That man's family sharing with me he's in critical condition now.
Those currents up underneath is what pulls you down, and just because it's calm on the surface doesn't mean you can swim the river.
Robert says he's helped struggling swimmers before.
We've got every different size, whether it's extra large all the way down to kitty stuff.
That's why he keeps more than a dozen life jackets on board for anyone who may need it.
It looks docile, but it's not. If you started swimming here, you would probably end up 300 yards that way downriver by the time you got over the other side.
Swift thinking in that current and hearing the need for help, Robert and his friends got a stranger to shore, hoping that helping was enough for the man to survive. And he really stressed to me just how important having those life jackets are. Like I said there, he said that he keeps like 20 in his boat at a time. And even if you do have a tube or something to float on, getting separated from that could be deadly without a life jacket on. So very important to keep that safety equipment with you at all times.
Under tonight, the river and the lake are two different bodies of water. That water, as you can see right here, it moves quickly. Thank you, Ethan. CPR does save lives in cases of emergency. And here are some quick advice. Here is some quick advice on doing CPR. The Red Cross recommends giving 100 to 120 chest compressions a minute. There are songs that you can remember, like Staying Alive by the Bee Gees. If you've ever seen The Office, you remember that. I mean the Staying Alive part in the chorus. If you would like to become CPR certified, you can do it very easily. One of the places to do that is through the training program there at MCG. Mayor-elect Stephen Kendrick listening to the community tonight. Months now before he is set to be sworn into office, he's holding a community forum. He held one tonight. He talked heavily about hearing from the community while running for office, and tonight was a night for him to do that and talk about some of the promises he's made.
Certainly promising to listen. We're not going to go in with a mindset that we've already got the answers. We think this approach to allowing people to share with us their thoughts is the right approach, and we're hopeful that we'll get some information from them, some thoughts from them that'll make us successful in the coming years.
Well, if you have something you would like to share with the mayor and his transition team, there are 3 more sessions coming up. The next one is on Thursday. It's at the Henry Brigham Community Center. A Miami landlord claims they were not aware that they were operating an Augusta apartment complex without a license, but record requests show differently. Here, Liz Owens, still investigating this story. Like, this man is in jail tonight. That's his picture. He's being blamed for shooting his girlfriend on Saturday. Carlton Jones turned himself in tonight. Investigators believe he shot his girlfriend several times after a fight that happened on Saxton Drive. The girlfriend, she was taken to the hospital, and Jones, he is now in jail, charged with aggravated assault. For people staying at the Salvation Army's Center for Hope, pajamas and undergarments, they are a rare gift. They are the most needed and the least donated items at that shelter. Now the Salvation Army of Augusta is working with Bradley's Barbecue for its August bedtime basic pajama drive. Long name. Hopefully with amazing results, though. Major Jonathan Raymer says donations have been slow so far, but he knows, and certainly we believe, the community will step up.
Many of those who are staying at our Center of Hope, who are, experiencing homelessness, don't have much. And so being able to give new pajamas, new underwear, just another touch of the ministry of dignity for those who are in need.
Well, they need pajamas and underwear in every size. But the shelter also needs non-perishable food items and diapers, along with wipes. They have a wish list along with those things on it. They need jewelry. For people who are headed out to job interviews, you can drop off donations at almost all Salvation Army locations. Emily.
Well, looking at the radar, most of us are dry and calm, but we are starting to see a few of those heavier showers moving into our western counties here in the CSRA. That's going to be the story throughout our evening, or overnight, I should say. I'll have a look at what we can expect for your Tuesday and the next 7 days coming up.
Save big on energy drinks and fuel at Parker's Kitchen. Buy any 3 16-ounce Monster energy drinks and save 20 cents per gallon on your next fill up, only with Parker's Rewards.
This is WRDW Plus.
Your free source for live, local news, weather, sports, and more.
Anytime you need it, search WRDW Plus on any streaming device like Roku, Apple TV, or Amazon Fire.
Download our app to watch us live or catch what you missed anytime.
Plan your day with confidence ahead of changing weather with your First Alert weather forecast.
When there's breaking news, find out first with WRDW Plus.
I'm Zaina Halliburton.
And I'm Will Rio.
And this is
WRDW Plus, streaming now.
Injured? Call Austin Jackson, the Augusta guy.
I had never really been in an accident before. Austin Jackson's team, they explained everything.
I knew that he was taking care of the behind-the-scenes work, and that was like a heavy load off of me and my family.
As soon as I called Austin Jackson, I was assured that everything would be taken care of for me.
We take all the burden from the legal side off of our clients. We protect, we guide, and we assist the injured of our community after an accident.
I think we should tell you about this safety alert. And it's for anyone who can't escape the heat. Let's talk about the cooling centers. They're important. They reopen tomorrow. 11 centers open in our area. The ones on your screen here, they run into the evening, as Emily said, important at 8 o'clock when it's still so hot outside. We have a full list of locations and times on WRDW.com. Search cooling, and please share that with people who might need them but don't have the access to get to our website. I was going to say, people don't underestimate how many cameras are in here when they can move around. Like, you know, just walk on in, fine.
Yeah.
But the same thing when you had to walk into the beginning, that's what was going on right before the commercial break. I couldn't figure out which camera to look at.
Yeah. Sometimes it's hard.
I think it's because it's hot in here, but not as hot as it is outside.
Yeah, nowhere near. The AC is definitely working overtime, but
we're giving the AC a lot of credit right now.
yeah, it is.
Always working overtime to cool off because it's so hot outside. Okay, I got you.
Yes.
I'm following
Yeah.
now. I
Yeah.
got your story.
And we're keeping that first alert in effect tomorrow. That will be, I should have gone back and counted, either our 5th or 6th day in a row for first alert.
We can stop counting. It's just hot.
I know, it is intense, and it's going to continue. For your Tuesday, heat advisories out for a good portion of the CSRA. That means feels like temperatures anywhere from 105 to 110. Make sure you're taking plenty of breaks if you do spend any period of time outdoors, and if you have to take your furry friend out on a walk, maybe do some yard work, try to do that in the morning because it takes us a very long time to cool off. For our evening, just this evening at 7 p.m., we were still at 97 degrees for the actual temperature. Not feels like was around 105, but again, 97 at 7 p.m. That's why that heat advisory extends until 8 p.m. That will continue again tomorrow, starting at noon, again, ending around 8 p.m. for the heat. We're seeing a little bit of rainfall at the moment, some heavier rain around the Atlanta over into Athens, seeing some of those heavier thunderstorms, but we do have a cell that's pretty heavy here in the CSRA, but that special weather statement has ended for that cell there, and I'm expecting most of us to remain dry this evening. Best chance of seeing rain will be for our Georgia counties and really places north of I-20, but overall, rain chances will start to diminish overnight tonight, where we can expect to see temperatures only drop into the upper 70s. A very warm start to our day tomorrow, and again, we do have that first alert in effect for the heat in the afternoon. We're under a heat dome, if you will, where we're having pretty high humidity, very high actual temperatures, and that's making us feel like the triple digits, right around 108 tomorrow, and we'll still be in the hundreds for the next couple of afternoons. For the feels like temperature, actual temperature tomorrow could potentially reach that 100 mark again. That's what we saw today, right around 101, 102 at Bush Field. That's the first 100 we've had so far this year. We have the potential to see another over the next couple of days, so make sure that you are prepared for the heat, staying hydrated. We're not going to get much relief in the form of rainfall over the next 3 days for us. Rain chances will start to uptick a little bit for your Friday and Saturday. When it's all said and done, half an inch, maybe an inch in some spots, and it'll help us cool off a little bit for our weekend. Low 90s are back in play starting Saturday.
Little loose with the word cool off over there, ma'am. All right, let's get you up on headlines from across South Carolina and Georgia today. And we start in Atlanta, where 2 children kidnapped over the weekend. Now 6 kids are going back to school, causing some parents to stress out about what you're going to pack in that lunchbox. Nutrition experts say, don't panic. Be cool. Items like sandwiches, they're not always what you have to take. Just pick out a carb, a protein, a fruit, a vegetable, and something fun to sneak in there. Packing the night before and using leftovers can make it a little easier.
You're literally putting them almost like you would put Tupperware in your fridge, right? They're all separated, they're all sealed, so the foods aren't mixing with each other. They stay fresh overnight in the fridge. You just pull it out, put it in an insulated bag with ice packs, or an insulated bag that has ice packs already built into them, and then you send them along their way.
And if you want to make it more likely that your kid will actually appreciate that effort and eat that lunch, experts recommend involving the kids in the process and offer them choices each time. Here's Hayden coming up. He probably had snack packs in his lunchbox. He's cool like that. Also cool, Fox Creek football beginning a new era with a new coach. When Hayden's here, he's talking to the coach next.
Take a look in your crawl space to see if you have any standing water or moisture issues. If you do, let's fix it now, because moisture problems don't get better over time.
They get better when you call my dad.
When you come to the Hall Claw Group, you're not just...
First Alert Radar, powered by Jim Hudson Automotive Group. On your sideline, sponsored by Chandler Law Firm.
Well, it's the dawn of a new season and a fresh start for the Fox Creek football program. The Predators kick off the 2026 season at Orangeburg-Wilkinson on Friday, led by a new coach. Predators head coach David Sammons is entering his first year at the helm. He takes the job having already spent the last 3 seasons serving as the school's offensive coordinator. Sammons was also the head coach of ARC in 2022. Today, it's a new year and a new roster, but thankfully for him, one he already has familiarity with.
It's exciting. You know, it's always exciting starting a new kind of position, and especially at a place that you've been, and you know the kids, and they know you. And they're excited. The school's excited, ready to get the thing going. They've been working their tails off. So they're starting to see their hard work pay off, and we're all just really excited to get it going.
Well, the Preds having no issue with that over the last 2 seasons, but it's the cruise control that might need a bit of a tune-up. This is a program that's gone a combined 9-1 through the first 5 weeks of the season, dating back to 2024, only to drop every single game after that. In fact, they haven't won a matchup in the month of October since 2019. But as Salmon says, that's just history, and it's up to a new core to make their own.
Times don't last, tough people do. They know what we're up against. They know the adversity coming week 1, and we're going to play a ton of freshmen. We're going to play a ton of sophomores, a ton of juniors. We've only got 5 seniors. And we're a young program from our roster standpoint. They need to go out and play and get some of that experience for year 1, year 2, year 3.
Well, as his second full season as starter begins, Gunnar Stockton's focus is less on spectacular plays and more on self-preservation behind the line of scrimmage. In Athens, the UGA quarterback maturing along the way, especially when it comes to decision-making. So many times last year did we see Stockton's ability to scramble on broken plays, but often those also resulted in big hits. So offensive coordinator Mike Bobo working with his QB on when to get rid of the ball and when to scramble safely.
We're working on trying to extend plays and be a little safer in and out of the pocket, and he's done a good job of that, and it's something we're working on hard with him. Day in and day out, we're getting examples of that. We've tried to create more scrambles in practice, and then I've tried to call more plays where we can push the ball downfield.
Well, the season is right around the corner. September 5th against Tennessee State at 3 o'clock. That game in front of another sold-out crowd in Athens. And earlier today, the preseason AP Top 25 poll released. We've got a first look at where the teams are falling. First up, Ohio State, the preseason favorites with Heisman candidate Jeremiah Smith and Julian Sayin at the helm. Georgia coming in at number 3. Again, they'll kick off the year on September 5th. Also, South Carolina, Georgia Tech, and Clemson all receiving votes in the preseason top 25 list.
Well, we have that first alert again tomorrow for the dangerous heat. Make sure you are dressed appropriately and take plenty of breaks indoors. I'll have a look at your 7-day forecast one more time coming up.
Time in 10. Sponsored by Riverside Heating and Air.
Riverside Heating and Air Conditioning is the CSRA's expert heating and cooling company. Join the Riverside Comfort Club with regular HVAC maintenance starting as low as $15 per month.
For 50 years.
News 1226 First Alert Weather app. The earliest alerts, customized for you, and video forecasts from local experts. Download the free News 1226 First Alert Weather app, your essential CSRA weather survival tool. Sponsored by Graham Jack Foundation Repair.
Car crashes, truck wrecks,
motorcycle accidents,
work injuries,
nursing home negligence,
disability.
If you need legal help,
the Sync team is ready to fight for you.
think Sync. Think Sync.
Think Sync.
Here's a final look at your 7-day forecast. Remember, tomorrow, first alert for the dangerous heat. We'll see a heat advisory for most of the CSRA starting at noon, ending at 8 p.m. High temperatures tomorrow right around 99. Some spots could see the triple digits for the actual temperature. Feels like temperature anywhere between 105 and 110. We'll keep the upper 90s for the rest of the work week. A little bit of a cool down for us for our weekend. We'll drop down into the lower 90s Saturday and Sunday.
That is it for us tonight on this Monday. We made it. The morning show starts tomorrow morning at 4:30 a.m. and we are always on WRDW.com. Good night, everybody.
The first time behind the wheel.